And it's funny, by the way, let me just mention one more thing. It's funny. Seems like some of these people, including Tom Nash, they talk about their discounted cash flow method, their model. That's all a bunch of bullshit. I did a video on that. I don't look at that garbage. That's nonsense. That's that valuation methodology is in a vacuum. That's like theoretical, right? And if you're going to use that, you have to constantly update it based upon earnings, not just earnings, but earnings revisions, right? Also, other things that come out. So you have to constantly, because there's a lot of things that come out on companies, not just quarterly, but in between. What's more important is to understand what a company does, understand their market position, understand the market potential, the potential market size and growth, right? Understand the competitive strategy, understand the strength of management. That's what's called qualitative analysis. Okay. That's what I focus on. Quantitative analysis is looking at the numbers. Okay. I look at numbers as well, but I don't focus on that. Why don't I focus on the financials? You can't, like, why would you focus on the financial statements? Oh, I mean, I gave you an example of some things I look at, but why would you focus on that when the companies have so many tricks, right? They have so many tricks to manipulate things. It's impossible to really rely strictly on the financials. It's more important, especially if you're a longer term, to have a vision of the company, you see, and to understand the strategy, the developments that are going on. That's much more important. Valuation obviously has a play. It's important as well. If you buy the company, a great company at the wrong time, you can be down for 10 years. And during that 10 years, you it's easy to say, well, shit, I made a bad decision. I made a big mistake. This is terrible, because you're focused on the price, you see. So, I think that's if you want to find really great companies, I think you want to focus on the qualitative. But qualitative is a lot more difficult because it's more judgment. But I just think people that are using discounted cash flow. I mean, if you're gonna, why would you like listen to some clown on YouTube? If you're gonna go by that, just you can get free research from like these online brokers like Fidelity, Schwab, E-Trade. They provide free research. You can get their discount. Why wouldn't you go through an analyst? Like, the analysts are kind of a joke, but that's kind of relative to my view from what I provide. But when you compare a Wall Street analyst to some YouTuber, like that's not even night and day. It's the difference is even more extreme. So why would anybody listen to somebody on YouTube? But you see, you've got some people, of course, their strategy is to come and tell you that they used to work as a top four Wall Street firm as an analyst. Meanwhile, they were really doing internet marketing, and they were never a Wall Street analyst. That is fraud. And that's why I'm willing to I'm willing to hand Tom Nash $10,000, 100 Benjamins, if he can prove to me his claims. And he's got several claims, by the way, that I mentioned earlier. He's backing off of these claims. Before, he mentioned that he had an MBA degree. I can guarantee you he doesn't have an MBA degree unless it's through University of Phoenix online. Okay? Garrett, there's no way. I don't even think he went to University of Michigan, which, if that's what you want to like tout as your big thing, wow. Why is he wearing his Michigan shirt every single day? It's kind of a subconscious thing, right? Irrespective of any of that, the guy is completely clueless, absolutely clueless. And what he's doing, this is why I've come after him more than, say, Meet Kevin. Maybe I'll go after Meet Kevin more in the future. But what Tom Nash is doing, he's making these claims as a way to make money. And if these claims are not true, it's pure fraud. Now, Tom, I believe, is hiding out in Tel Aviv. He's in Israel. So he probably feels protected. You see, it's just disgusting to me. But once again, it's a circle jerk. A lot of these guys, they're in the same circle, folks. Just all you got to do, if you want to see the whole army, is see who they hang out with. Okay, see who they're rubbing shoulders with. It's a big network. I'm telling you. I knew this. I know how this stuff works. I saw the same thing when I exposed all these gold pumpers many, many, many years ago. They work. It's the same deal. Remember, con artists work in networks. They work in syndicates because the impact is much stronger that way. So if you're in a network, if you're a con man and you're kind of rubbing shoulders with other con artists, the audience is going to kind of stick with your stuff. And if they're going to veer off into other stuff, they're going to veer off into your network. So they stay contained in that whole disinformation network, and they can never break out and see what's going on. You see, that's why they do that. FYI. So, yes. Well, Jesper, by the way, did you take a look at the video that I made a couple of months ago? I think it was probably on Palantir. Well, I don't think I'd label it Palantir. It was a Tom Nash video, and I actually showed how Mr. Karp unloaded more than $1 billion, I think it was, of Palantir stock last year. And during that whole time, you didn't hear anything about it. Nobody on YouTube was talking about it. I can tell you, I don't recall ever seeing a bigger dump in my life. I don't recall ever seeing a bigger dump in my life for a company, especially in this early stages. It's unbelievable to me. And if you watch the video, then you remember me saying, like, I'm suspicious whether or not Alex Karp and Peter Thiel have some type of a romantic relationship, right? Like, there's something going on there. Like, he was responsible for granting him those shares. The company just went IPO. He's dumping $1 billion, more than $1 billion, within less than 2 years, and no one is saying anything on YouTube about it. In fact, you have people pumping Palantir, telling you it's going to be $1 trillion company. And by the way, the Palantir expert, Tom Nash, he tells you that he doesn't really know what it does, but they do great things. And he says, watch the videos. If you don't know what they do, watch the videos on YouTube. And I'm like, what? Watch the videos on YouTube? You should be looking at the 10K, the 10Q. I mean, what's going on here? You want people to invest in a black box? This is all very weird to me. It's a weird situation. I have to believe, honestly, based upon what I've seen and looking at Karp, I wouldn't be surprised if, I'm not predicting this, but I wouldn't be surprised down the road if SEC gets involved. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some type of shenanigans going on with Palantir at all. Okay? Because, and I don't know much about it. I actually traded it myself a while back when it was flying high. But just a momentum trade, that was it. But so I don't really know much about it. All I know is that this stock, more than any other stock that I know about, has been pumped up based upon like a black box, right? It's kind of a what do you call it? Urban myth, right? It's kind of an urban myth stock. Like, okay, tell me, what exactly do they do? Show me, right? And as I mentioned in one of the videos, you would think if Palantir is this company that's so valuable for the CIA and the U.S. military, like, don't you think the stock would be taken off with the war between Russia and Ukraine and the increasing geopolitical aggressiveness made by China in East Asia? Like, this is their best time, it should be, right?